Okay, so let's talk about meditation. You see it everywhere these days, right? It's in wellness apps, corporate programs, you name it. But what's really going on behind all the hype? I mean, does sitting quietly for a few minutes a day actually do anything big? A lot of people say it helps them chill out, but there's still a lot of skepticism about whether it has any real, measurable effects. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and look at what the hard science actually says.
And look, it's totally understandable to be a bit skeptical. For so long, the benefits were just stories. We all get that meditation is linked with that feeling of peacefulness, but as neuroscientist Sarah Lazar points out, people who practice it have always sworn it's more than that it creates real changes that stick with you all day long. The big question has always been, could science ever prove that?
So is that lasting calm just a nice feeling? Maybe a placebo effect from just taking some time for yourself? Or, and this is the really incredible part, is something physically changing deep down inside our brains and our bodies when we meditate consistently? Well, that's the exact question we're going to tackle.
And it turns out the answer is a huge, resounding yes. Things are absolutely changing. We're going to start with what I think is the most mind-blowing finding of all. The fact that meditation can literally trigger a physical remodel inside your own head.
And when I say it's not just in your head, I mean that literally. This isn't some imaginary thing. Groundbreaking research from places like Harvard and Mass General Hospital has shown that an 8-week mindfulness program can physically change the brain's gray matter. We are talking about actual, tangible, structural changes you can see on a scan.
So what parts are changing? Well, using MRI scans, scientists saw gray matter get denser in a few really important spots. First up, the hippocampus. That's a huge deal for learning and memory. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, which is kind of like your brain's CEO. It handles all the high-level planning, problem-solving, and helps you regulate your emotions. And also the anterior cingulate cortex, which is linked to self-control and your ability to roll with the punches. These parts of your brain literally get stronger.
But here's where it gets even cooler. It's not just about growth. Because while all those important areas are beefing up, another critical part of the brain is actually getting smaller.
And that part is the amygdala. You can think of it as your brain's internal alarm system. It's the fight or flight center that lights up when you feel fear and anxiety. What the studies show is that after people practice mindfulness, the cell volume in their amygdala actually decreases. This physical shrinking is tied directly to people reporting they feel less stressed. It means that internal alarm isn't so twitchy anymore. You become less reactive.
Okay, so we've seen how meditation can change the brain's actual hardware. Now let's look at how that upgrade affects the body's chemical software, specifically how we respond to stress.
The main chemical we're talking about here is cortisol. You've probably heard of it. It's the body's #1 stress hormone. Now, it's helpful when you need a quick burst of energy, but having high levels of it all the time is linked to all kinds of health problems. So if meditation really reduces stress, we should see cortisol levels drop, right?
Well, it turns out we can. A huge meta-analysis, that's a study that combines the results of lots of other studies, found that meditation has a small but statistically significant effect on lowering cortisol. The effect size they found was 0.40. Now that might not sound huge, but significant is the key word. It means this is a real, measurable drop in the very chemical that floods your body when you're stressed.
So we've got physical brain changes and we've got chemical body changes. But what does all of this actually mean for your daily life?
Well, this is where we see the real-world payoff.
One of the first places people tend to notice a difference is in their sleep. A big meta-analysis found moderate evidence that mindfulness meditation really does improve sleep quality. And it seems to work by targeting the two big culprits that keep us staring at the ceiling at night. Rumination, that endless loop of thoughts, and the emotional reaction that makes every single one of those thoughts feel so important.
And it's not a huge surprise that when you're less stressed out and you're sleeping better, those benefits are going to show up in a big way at work.
And the numbers here are pretty staggering. In one survey of over 100 employees who meditate, a full 90%, that's 9 out of 10, said they either agree or strongly agree that it makes them more productive. That is a massive thumbs up from the people who are actually in the trenches doing the work.
So where does that productivity boost come from? Well, a huge chunk, 84%, say their focus and concentration got better. But it's not just about cranking out your own work. An incredible 81% said meditation actually improved their relationships with their coworkers. So, you're getting better focus and better teamwork? That's a pretty clear recipe for a much better workplace.
Okay, so the evidence is pretty darn compelling, right? A remodeled brain, lower stress hormones, better sleep, better work, but, and this is a big but, there is one very important catch to all of this.
And it's the one thing that every single one of these studies has in common, from the brain scans all the way to the cortisol tests. These incredible benefits, well, they aren't a one-and-done kind of deal.
Let's just go back to that cortisol study, because it's the perfect example. Right after the meditation program ended, boom, researchers saw that significant drop in the stress hormone. But when they followed up just 1 month later with the people who had stopped practicing, the effect was gone. It wasn't significant anymore. The benefits had faded away. It's just like exercise for your muscles. The mental and physical benefits of meditation only stick around if you keep up the practice.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The science is clear. Meditation isn't just about feeling calm. It's about actively, measurably changing your brain and your body for the better. In that Harvard study, an average of just 27 minutes a day was enough to create those physical changes in gray matter. So the real question is, if that's what it can do inside our brains, what could a consistent practice change for you?
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the real science behind daily meditation. Feeling the pressure of modern life? You're not alone. But what if there was a practical tool for that? See, meditation is more than just chilling out. It's about actively retraining your brain. Let's look at the science.
Harvard researchers wondered, does meditation cause actual physical changes in the brain?
And get this, after just 8 weeks, NRIs showed real growth in gray matter in key areas. And these aren't minor spots. They're central to learning, memory, and how you see yourself. It's proof of what's called neuroplasticity. We can literally change our own brains through our habits.
So besides brain structure, scientists also looked at our main stress hormone, cortisol.
And yep, a major analysis found meditation has a solid, measurable effect on lowering that stress hormone. So these brain changes are cool, but what do they actually feel like day to day? Well, people report better focus, they're less reactive, and just generally feel more positive and flexible. And this stuff doesn't just stay in your head, it shows up in the real world, starting with sleep. By calming those racing thoughts at night, meditation can seriously improve the quality of your sleep.
And better rest and focus? You know that has a massive impact at work?
That's right, 9 out of 10. It's a huge link between inner calm and professional performance. Okay, so these benefits are amazing. But there's a catch, and you need to know about it. That same study, it found if you stop practicing, those lower cortisol levels just fade away. This is why the focus is on daily meditation. It's not a one-time fix, it's a regular practice. But you don't need to commit hours. Even just 2 minutes a day can start to build the habit. The science shows you have more control over your brain than you might think. Thanks for watching.